I sent a message yesterday and then stared at the screen for 5 straight minutes. It was like just a normal reply in a group chat. Nothing serious. Just confirming I could make it to a thing on Friday. But the second I hit send, I read it back. I read it in 5 different tones of voice, and I decided it sounded slightly cold, like I was mad about going, like I was doing them a favor by showing up. So I started typing another message to explain the first one. I added a stupid emoji to soften it. Then I deleted that because it felt desperate. Then I typed something else. I spent 10 minutes managing a text about getting pizza. By the time I actually put my phone down, my heart was beating fast. I was completely drained over a pizza text. I do this all the time. I constantly try to manage how people perceive me. I will bend over backwards to make sure nobody gets the wrong idea. If I leave a party early, I need everyone to know I have an early shift. I'll mention the shift 3 times before I leave. If I don't talk much in a Discord call, I have to mention I have a headache. I can never just be quiet. I need you to know exactly why I'm quiet. I need you to understand me perfectly. Because if you don't, I panic. It takes up so much energy. You probably know the feeling, honestly. Like when you say something in a seminar, you make a small point about the reading. The tutor nods, but someone across the room makes a slight face. Just a tiny shift in their eyebrows. You know, they might just be looking at the clock. They might be thinking about their lunch. But your brain hooks onto it entirely. You spend the rest of the class replaying your sentence. You try to figure out if you sounded arrogant or if you missed something obvious. You pull the sentence apart word by word. You stop listening to the actual class entirely. You just sit there drafting apologies in your head for a crime you didn't even commit. Or when you see someone you sort of know on campus, you spot them from 50 meters away. And you spend the entire walk trying to decide how to act. Do you wav? Do you nod? You look at your phone so you pretend you didn't see them. Then you look up at the exact right moment to say, all right. You plan the whole interaction. And if they just walk past without saying anything, you feel sick. You spend the next hour wondering what you did wrong last time you spoke to them. They were probably just tired. But you make it entirely about you, or the way you change a story halfway through telling it. I do this constantly. I start telling a mate about something funny that happened on my shift. It's a story I actually find funny, and I see them zone out for half a second, or they don't laugh where I thought they would. So I panic instantly. I speed up the delivery. I change the whole point of the story to make it sound better to them. I abandon my actual opinion just to get them to nod. I turn myself into a pretzel just to keep them comfortable. It's so pathetic when you catch yourself doing it. You walk away feeling like you didn't even exist in that conversation. It happens in games too. You play with a regular group. You make a bad call in a match and die early. Instead of just saying my bad, you spend the next 3 rounds explaining why you did it. You complain about the lag, you blame the mouse, you blame the audio cutting out, you over-explain your thought process step by step. You desperately need them to understand that you aren't stupid. And they don't care. They genuinely don't care. They just want to play the next round. But you can't drop it. You have to prove you're smart. And okay, here is the absolute worst one. The fake laugh. Someone makes a joke at work. It's loud in the break room. You don't hear a word of it, but everyone else laughs. So you laugh. You smile and nod. And then you spend the next hour terrified someone will refer back to the joke. You live in total fear of being found out. You monitor every conversation, waiting for the joke to come back around. You could just say you didn't hear it, But that feels impossible because that would mean a moment of friction. And friction means they might look at you weirdly. I always thought this was a good trait. I thought I was just being considerate. I thought I was a good friend because I cared so much about everyone's feelings. I honestly believed I was just a really caring person. I thought I was the easygoing one who kept the peace. But I realized something a few weeks ago. I was walking home from a late shift. I was overthinking a conversation I had with my manager. I kept replaying how I asked for time off. I was worried she thought I was being lazy, and it just clicked. I wasn't being caring. I was trying to control her. I was trying to reach into her brain and force her to have a specific opinion of me. That was the whole issue. When I overexplain myself, I'm demanding that you see me exactly how I want to be seen. I'm refusing to let you have your own thoughts. It's actually incredibly arrogant. I was acting like I could manage the entire world's perception of me, and you just can't. People will see you how they want to see you. Trying to dictate their reality is exhausting, and it makes you act weird. I started leaving empty space in conversations, just dead air. If I say something and the other person goes quiet, I don't fill the gap. I just let it sit there. This is incredibly hard at first. Your whole body wants to jump in and fix it. You want to say just kidding, or you want to explain what you meant. You want to soften the landing for them. But I just force myself to stay quiet. I look at them and wait. The reason this works is pretty simple. Most of the time, they aren't judging you. They're just thinking about what to say next. Or they're tired, or they're distracted by their phone. By staying quiet, you give them the chance to just be a normal person. You stop making their silence about you, and usually they just reply with something normal. The crisis was entirely in your head. You realize how much noise you used to make just to stop panicking. I also started giving answers without reasons. If a mate asks me to go out and I don't want to, I just say no. I say I'm staying in tonight. I don't invent a headache. I don't say I have to study for an exam I don't have. I don't complain about being broke. I just say no, I'm staying home. The thing about reasons is that they give people something to argue with. If you say you're too tired, they'll tell you a drink will wake you up. If you say you have no money, they'll offer to buy the first round. Explaining yourself just creates a negotiation. It invites them to solve your problem. But if you just state what you're doing, there's nothing to push against. It gives them nothing to argue with. It feels rude at first. You feel like you're being cold, but it actually respects their time more. You're just giving them the truth, and they accept it way faster than a fake excuse. Another thing I did was I stopped fixing small misunderstandings. This was huge for me. If someone at my part-time job gets the wrong idea about me, I just let them. There's a guy at work who thinks I'm obsessed with this one terrible band. I wore their shirt once because it was clean. He made a comment about it. I just nodded. Now he brings them up every week. He asks if I saw their new post. He thinks we share this bond. The old me would have stopped him. I'd have explained the whole laundry situation. I'd have listed the bands I actually like to prove my taste. I'd have made sure he knew exactly who I was. Now I just let him think it. The mechanism here is about saving energy. You realize that someone having a slightly wrong version of you in their head doesn't hurt you. It literally doesn't affect your life. Letting people be wrong about you is brilliant. It frees up so much space in your brain. You don't have to correct the record constantly. You can just let them exist with their weird, incorrect facts. It's none of your business what they think. I started writing the message and not sending it, just drafting it in my notes app. If someone annoys me in a group chat, or if I feel like I need to defend myself. I type it all out. I write the whole long paragraph explaining exactly why I'm right and they're wrong. I spell out exactly how they misunderstood me. And then I close the app because it turned out the thing I needed was just to say it. I didn't actually need them to read it. I just needed to get the thought out of my head. Half the time I read it back the next morning, and I'm so glad I didn't send it. The urge to be understood is mostly just an urge to vent. It's just pressure building up. Once the words are typed, the pressure drops. You realize you don't need their agreement to move on with your day. I started being honest when I missed things too. If I don't hear the joke, I just say I didn't hear it. If I don't know a word someone uses, I stop them and ask. It feels so stupid. You feel like a little kid raising your hand in class. You brace yourself for everyone to roll their eyes. But the weird thing is how people react. They don't laugh at you. They actually relax. Because everyone is pretending to know everything all the time. Everyone is exhausted from pretending. When you admit you're lost, it gives them permission to drop the act too. The tension just evaporates. You stop being the guy who nods along nervously. You become a real person in the room. I still mess this up a lot. I went to a party on Saturday and spent 20 minutes explaining my degree to a guy who clearly didn't care. I could see his eyes glazing over. He was looking over my shoulder the whole time trying to find his friends. But I just kept talking. I wanted him to think my course was difficult. I wanted him to respect my choices. I walked away and immediately wanted to punch myself. So I'm not perfectly fixed. It's a habit you have to break every single day. But I'm getting better at catching it. I was in a lecture this morning. I put my hand up and answered a question. I got the answer completely wrong. The tutor corrected me and moved on to the next slide. My chest got tight. I had this massive urge to interrupt and explain my thought process. I wanted everyone to know I wasn't stupid, I just misread the slide. I wanted to prove I was paying attention. I sat there with my mouth half open, and then I just closed it. I looked at my laptop. I let it be awkward. I let the girl next to me think I was dumb. I sat in the discomfort. And 10 seconds later, the lecture just kept going. Nothing caught fire. Anyway, if this was useful, subscribe or leave a like. Takes a second, helps more than you think. And tell me if you fake laugh at work. I read all of them. Good night.